Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of CQ. I'm M94.
And I'm Fatman.
We got an interesting set of topics to talk about today because first one is probably going to offend a lot of people, but it's going to be a little bit more fun than usual. So, Fatman, what have you got today?
Okay, so recently I was going through my Instagram stories, and apparently there were quite a few people offended about a movie being made. Okay, so the movie's called Seerum Puli. In Tamil, it's called Seerum Puli, but the literal translation was Crouching Tiger.
Like
Okay,
a Chinese movie.
yeah, like Chinese movie indeed. Uh, So basically, it's the a movie about Prabhakaran. Okay, and since I'm a Tamil person, I was quite offended by one of the person who he wanted to cancel the movie. Because then I was thinking, why am I being offended by this person? Uh, then I started to realize, like, being a Tamil person, I think I'm not. I'm condoning the actions of Prabhakaran during his latter stages of life. I don't. I am not for racism. I mean, not racism, terrorism, violence,
Violence,
and
terrorism
killing
for me is,
people.
yeah, just wrong. Yeah.
This is just wrong. But what I felt was that why am I being offended by it?
Not making this movie.
Yeah, why is this person calling for canceling this movie is being offensive to me?
So called cancel culture.
Cancel culture, okay, yeah. And I was thinking, like, yeah, I'm a 26-year-old. I never faced racism. All my friends were good to me. I have single. One of my best friends are singular. But I never faced the brunt of the violence and the racism against Tamil people.
Like 83
83 riots and stuff like that.
in the war.
Okay, but then I realized. Then I was talking to my mom. So my mom, she faced all those issues and stuff like that. And what I realized was that in all people's heart, Prabharan holds a special space.
What do you mean by all people?
Like all people, in the sense, people who face the brunt of the racism, like my father's generation, and then two or three generations after that.
Do you think they sympathize with his cause and his action?
Most probably there are. I think obviously there are people who sympathize with them. I think there are. One of my friends told her mom still believes that Prabhakaran is still alive. Okay, then quite a few people have strong feelings about Prabhakaran. No, but whatever said and done, like whatever Prabhakaran did or did, initially what he started was, I think in my mind, he's a freedom fighter. Okay, and that's why I'm being offended by it, because he holds a special place in my heart because he fought for the Tamil people. Okay,
So for the rights of a certain ethnicity.
certain ethnicity, because the Tamil people were persecuted unfairly.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
agree with this state not recognizing people's rights and
yeah.
abusing and marginalizing people.
Yeah, so that's why I think in most of Tamil people's heart. Okay, I can't speak for everyone, but from the people I spoke, like my mom, like my friends and stuff like that. Prabhan holds a small special place. He's kept on a pedestal. Okay, and that is passed on to me, and that's why I'm getting offended. Okay, why are you canceling this person? He fought for us. He fought for our rights. Okay, but I have to say this. Even though Prabhaharan started with pure causes and pure uh, intentions, that's about intentions. In the end, he was a total grapple for power and stuff like that, right? But the question that we have to ask is, does what he started matter, or he is defined by his actions when he died?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the question that we have to
I
ask.
guess you can't judge a human on just an isolated incident, and you have to kind of taken his whole entire life's work, I guess, to in order to have some sort of general idea of who he was and what he stood for. But from a very cultural point of view, or like from a movie fan point of view, I would like to see different movies made by different point of views and different controversial topics coming out, and that's not a problem, because that's what I disagree with, the whole cancel culture idea, that you're not even letting people express themselves in what form, or whatever expression that they choose, whatever medium. Ideally, everyone should have their own opinions and views, and we should be having an open debate about certain things, and that's definitely okay. Just straight out saying somebody's a racist because uh, they believe in something is just wrong. You need to kind of open your door to like try and understand each other.
Why he is supporting this movie, why he is thinking like that. Okay, that is very
Exactly. So everyone has their backstories. Everyone can relate to some things. Everyone has brought in their family's ideologies. Their humans are made from a lot of things. They can't be isolated and say, "Oh, this is what makes you you." And same goes with like probably a movie. So do you want to talk about the 800 movie as well? Similar topic.
Yeah, so the 800 movie. Okay, so everyone knows who is in Sri Lanka, who knows Muthaiya Muralidharan, and they want to do a biopic of his. And funny enough, the South Indians wanted to cancel it because, as I think we know that Muthaiya Muralidharan is pro-government because I think if you are not pro-government, I don't think you will be able to play in the national team of Sri Lanka, right? And why it's sad is, and why for me it's particularly sad is, it's sad because Muthaiya Muralidharan was, he had such a power to be the voice of the minority. Yeah. He's a Tamil person, right? He had that power, but he succumbed to the pressures and the powers of being in for the government.
You could see him that he made sure him and his family are safe too. So there's a lot of ways to look at how he responds to politics and how he worked in that. Because it is definitely not an easy career in cricket itself. There was a lot of criticism for his actions, being no-balled in Australia, to how he was brought up in Sri Lankan cricket and how he was portrayed. So it's never been an easy journey for him in cricket, and definitely being such a known cricketer in Sri Lanka where we love cricket so much. He could have held a much stronger position against violence or against.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he did much.
Yeah, so that's why, and that's why I think, funny enough, the South Indians are more, because South Indians, okay, for people who don't know, South Indians are majorly Tamil people, and I think they do feel that Tamil people in Sri Lanka are their brothers, because that's why they were up in banners and shouting for like to cancel the movie.
Yeah, it was mostly because the actor had to wear the Sri Lankan emblem, and they see the Sri Lankan emblem as a government's thing, and so.
Okay, yeah. Finally enough. Okay, okay. So my aunt lives in India.
Yeah.
Okay, so so we were coming from Coimbatore back to Chennai in a bus. Okay, and we stopped at a station to wait for a car to come and pick us and go to the airport back to Sri Lanka. Okay. And okay, on this movies, all this the Indian politician like in a big jeep and a white and white. Suddenly this jeep comes, okay, and like few people like get down and they're like, I think they're taking a piss break, okay. Okay, and it's like this, and we are like too like tall. And they know that we are not locals because we are like this thing, and one person comes towards us and says, it was me and my brother, okay, comes towards us and says, in Ilangilan, Ceylon, they call Ceylon, okay? Okay, so I'm translating here, you're from Ceylon. I was like, yeah, and he said, what are your President Mahinda Rajapaksa doing right now? Okay, and so they are very anti government because they are anti-government, anti-Sri Lankan government, right?
Sri Lankan
Because
government.
South Indians, I don't know about the North Indians and the central government. I don't know about that, but by the looks of, by the interaction that I had, North Indians are, South Indians are pretty anti-government. Okay, I think, yeah. So that's why also, so South Indians wanted to cancel that movie because they knew Muthaiya Muralidharan is pro-government.
Government is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but I think I think there were cases of people calling them for their kids to be raped and their wife to be raped. Obviously, I don't condone that. I condone it. I condone it. Yeah, so yeah. Don't condone it.
Condone means you agree with it.
Okay, so I don't condone it. Sorry. I'm brain fart. I'm very sorry. Okay.
Don't agree with violence in general.
Yeah, don't.
No racism,
Yeah,
no
no racism,
No judgment. No.
judgment in general. Yeah, yeah. So, but like, funny enough, though, my in-law is a Sinhalese. Okay, my sister.
Nice.
Okay. So I had a conversation with her. Okay, this is the question I asked. Okay, what's your view on Prabhakaran?
Right.
Okay, and she obviously knows, okay, what the singular people did was wrong.
Right.
Or not rather the singular people, the singular government. I mean, not in the Sri Lankan government.
Yeah.
Sri Lankan government.
Single majority Sri Lankan government.
Okay. Well,
PC.
okay. Single majority Sri Lankan government. What they did was wrong. Obviously, I don't
Right.
condone it, but I don't condone Prabhakaran also because when I asked the question, okay, if I say I'm a supporter of Prabhakaran, what do you feel? And she apparently said scared.
Right.
Okay, and it was very weird to me, right? Because we are a minority and you're scared of us.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and
The ideals of majorities.
Yeah.
You need the demonized, the segregated, the evil, the bad.
yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
it's common politics. I think I've seen everywhere else. Even same ideology with like even Che Guevara, like Fidel Castro, all of these like strong politically motivated guys who kind of wanted to freedom fight and hold up values and stuff. Can be portrayed in two different ways. It really depends on who you ask. What do you think of like Che Guevara? Like someone who's a bit socialist and who thinks he's right, they'll love him. And if you go to America and ask him, they'll just say he's a terrorist. It's probably similar with Prabhakaran as well, where he's a freedom fighter turned terrorist.
Who killed innocent people and use those innocent people as a shield.
Yeah, and then the LTT masterminded suicide killing, which is brutal, which is just wrong, just horribly wrong.
And they did bad things towards, they did horrible things, violence towards people who they were fighting for. They raped Tamil people, they raped their women, like stuff like that. They used them as human shields and stuff like that.
The wrongs, both sides of the war. So it's been documented. It's not like it's not out there and everybody is trying to hold a secret. It's already out there. There's enough Reuters for BBC. There's plenty of documentaries out there showing government forces doing a lot of bad things, and also LTT using humans as refugees as human shields. Government forces attacking hospitals. So
the government first destroying the public library of Jaffna.
That is bad.
That's just destroying the culture, the knowledge of a whole ethnicity, right? That's
stung a lot.
Yeah, because that's how you destroy a minority, right? You attack their knowledge, right?
Yeah, and then after the war, obviously, most of history is going to be written by the conqueror, not the conquered, and that's how history is always kind of portrayed from the conqueror's point of view. Until you actually sit down with the victims and the losers, you'll never know the true story or the whole story.
And I don't think in our lifetime we will get to know the whole story. No one's gonna come out and say, that they'll be killed for sure. So I don't think, maybe in our olden age we will get to know what the truth is, what happened during the war. I think we have a clear picture of why the war started. I think sort of why the war
there's
started.
plenty of politics that we don't know, I guess.
now only we know about the World War Two, which was happened like more than 50 years ago.
Yeah, there's more new details
Things
coming
coming
out.
out every
Yeah,
day. So
so like even the judicial procedure after World War II never really properly happened. So I don't think Germany ever got rid of its Nazi fanatics.
yeah, there's still fanatics in us. Yeah, there are people
Exactly.
in
So
America. There are
plenty of
neo-Nazism.
plenty of anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi views still being held up very high.
Yeah, no, so the point I'm trying to make is about news about stuff, what happened, how it went down, stuff like that, like more accurate details of the war, of the 30-year Civil War, would come out. Not now. I would like to know now.
Yeah.
I would like to know what happened right now.
Yeah.
I can do something about it.
So yeah, ideally, I think a lot of people would want reconciliation, a lot of closure.
Okay, yeah. Speaking about reconciliation, okay, and the guy who spoke bad about on the Instagram story, who wanted to cancel this thing. He said that we have reconciled with Tamil brothers, right?
Right.
Do you think that is true reconciliation?
No, not really. I think it's a very long process. It doesn't happen at an instant, and it definitely can't happen between a person and another person.
It should be a community.
Exactly. It's a lot of community healing, a lot of trying to understand the other person's point of view. It could be even financial, monetary So the reparations takes different forms. So there's social aspects to it, there's financial aspects to it, bringing back land, being able to actually commemorate all the lives lost. That's another thing that
And one of the thing is like people who committed war crimes being held accountable.
Exactly. It's not happening.
I think that's some sort of a justice. It's obviously would lead to proper reconciliation and healing.
Even the whole Mahavira days, it's symbolic to people who lost lives and families who lost relatives to actually to be able to say, okay, we've lost lives, we really don't want this to happen again. That's important, and the government is again trying to not let that happen, and they want to have Heroes Day, celebrating a victory which really does not feel like a victory when the government, which is supposed to protect its people, killing its own people. That really does not feel like a victory at all. Yeah, so it's a lot of interesting viewpoints. I guess.
So yeah, we went
one TikTok. Yeah, it kind of went along with
this thing, but we went to Bantra, so bring him back all together. Like I said, why Prabhakaran holds a special place in Tamil people's heart, in my opinion, is that he's the person who fought for us.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, because of that, every person has like a small inclination towards Prabhakaran. Okay. He's kept on a small pedestal, and what he did in the end was wrong, but his intentions were pure. That's what we are gonna end on.
This topic at
This topic at least.
Yeah, very abruptly gonna change topics to something a bit more fun.
Fun, yeah.
Another thing that Tamil people like is Brinjals.
Yeah. I love Brinjals. So okay, so funny story I'm gonna tell you. You are a mutual friend. Okay. Okay, so we were interning at a place. It starts by, so you know what the place is. Okay. And one day I bought brinjals, pittu, and chicken curry or something like that. Okay. And so normally in lunch we open up the parcel and we share the parcel, so everyone gets a variety of food.
Yeah, not during Corona, definitely.
Not this was like
way before.
Way before. So this was in 2013.
Right.
Okay. So and when I said so Tamil people they make brinjals milk curry. Okay. Yeah. So when it's cooked, it turns green. Yeah. Okay. This guy for his life didn't believe if that was brinjals because he knows in his life only he knows brinjals mojo, which you fry it and you make it into
one way of
preparation. Right. So yeah. 94, would you want to tell more about brinjals?
Yeah, so brinjals have like different names in different parts of the world actually. They can be also called aubergines or eggplants. There's plenty of varieties: long ones, small ones, short ones. Even batu, I think, kind of comes under the same family. And they're technically berries. If you study it botanically, the botanist out there will say it's not really a fruit or vegetable. It's technically a
Seriously?
berry.
It's a
A
berry?
berry. Because of the seeds and how they're formed from one flower. Strawberries are not really berries, technically. We just call them berries. I think berry is a general term for fruit. Yeah, so weirdly, tomatoes, brinjals are berries, and strawberries and mulberries are not berries. For the botanist out there. But there's definitely a lot of ways to prepare them. So you can fry them, definitely delicious. You can bake them. You can make like an eggplant parmesan, so it's like tomato sauce and cheese. You can make a quasi lasagna out of them, so you can substitute your pasta with like sliced up eggplants. You can do a pachadi. I don't really know the English term for pachadi, but it's a very nice way of making smashed up eggplants, and you spice them up. It's something similar to, I think, baba ganoush, which is another smashed up dip, eggplant dip found in like Middle East. So there's a version here in Sri Lanka called pachadi where you would boil it, then smash it, and then you'll temper it with like onions and mustard seeds and stuff.
Seriously.
That's a really nice. So you can obviously make
I did my life.
there's another version where you can make it spicy with like spreads or even with karvadu. So karvadu is the dried fish. So you can make a spicy curry out of it with tamarind, which is really nice for like puttu, or the milk-based curry, which is like apparently not that famous enough for people to know about.
Dude,
But
crazy. Like that's the only way that I know. I know. So normally not the moju, but my mom fries the eggplant and with some potatoes and onions and with pittu and some for sambal. It's like
yeah.
heaven, dude. And obviously for rice, if you want some wet, you obviously make milk curry with it.
It can work in soups and stuff, but the texture might be different.
Oh yeah, it would be weird. Like
Yeah, it's a bit different. Yeah, it's a bit weird. It might be a bit more slimy.
slimy, yeah.
Yeah, so not necessarily recommended in soups, but definitely fried. The way to go, I guess. Yeah, that's about it for that. What's next?
What's next? Okay, we are gonna talk something fun and funny. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Fertility Festival in Japan.
Why are we talking about the Fertility Festival in Japan?
I don't know, I have something interesting that I wanted to tell.
Right.
Okay, so the Shinto, maybe I'm butchering this, but Japanese out there, I'm really sorry. The Shinto Kanamara Matsuri is held each spring at the Kanayama Shrine in Kawasaki, Japan. Okay, so I watched this YouTuber called The Anime Man. Okay, so he actually went to the festival and showed the clips. So apparently, all the sweets, all the lollipops, everything is peanut shaped.
Okay.
Okay, and that's your festival. Like anything related to any kind of food is peanut shaped.
Okay.
Okay, and it's like crazy, man. The amount, and you worship a penis.
Right.
Actually a big. Funny enough, Hindus also worship.
Yeah,
penis,
that's it. I was trying to get at lingams and like that's part of the Hindu culture. So, Sivalingam. So that's also another form of fertility.
Yeah.
So if you know more about it, please do let us know. But yeah.
So let me continue. So everything is penis shaped, and so that's a tour. So then and if you want, and that's another statue. Okay, and it's shaped like a bosom. It's shaped
right.
Okay, and this thing. So how you worship it?
Yeah.
How you worship it is you keep your hands on it and you rub it twice. Okay, and it's so
quality there.
Yeah, so that's a weird. Like if you want to get pregnant or anything like that, and this thing, and in the end, how they end the festival is there are like people in the ground, and Like there are people on an upper stage and they throw hard mochi at people.
Okay.
And that's how they end the festival.
Right.
And there's a huge penis-shaped sculpture which they carry on on shoulders.
Procession.
Oh, like a procession. That's
Oh, wow.
and it's like Christmas. Japanese are awesome, dude. They have the weird festival.
Except for the sexism, yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. This is our first ever CQ podcast. We hope that you found this informative, entertaining, and you thought our viewpoints were interesting.
And want to share more with us.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to listen to another episode of CQ.
CQ. See you next time. Bye, guys.